I can't hear you, man.
Where is it?
You plugged in, dude?
Where's your live feed coming from? Welcome to 1979.
That better? Can you hear me now?
Yep. 79. Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so tell people to go to the Welcome to 1975 page. Welcome to 1979
What?
page.
Welcome to the 1975 page.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can hear you. Awesome.
Yeah, so tell people to go to the Welcome to 1975 page. Yeah, there you go.
Share the story.
Cool. We're going to have some fun today.
Feed.
So whoever has that, turn it off.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to mute myself, I suppose, or...
Hey, Romy, what up? You can
Hey. If seagulls were to fly over a bay, what would they be called?
Bagels.
Bagels.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
You have to say it.
I love that one. That would be good.
All right.
Sun is shining today, everybody.
Give thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Yogi, I'm going to take you out. I'm going to add Aaron just for a second, get him up.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. You're out.
Oh, Romy Rome. Fresh saving. Look at you, Vin Diesel.
Hey. Thank you, dear.
Max is on.
Maximus. Yes.
Oh, no good boy.
Oh, hey, I dig the glasses. Wow.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi.
How you doing?
I just realized I'm wearing the same shirt I am in the promo photo. That's how I roll.
You haven't really taken a shower since we understand.
No, I got excited. I took a shower before this.
I actually legitimately forgot what day it was multiple times.
Yeah, it happens.
It is Tuesday, I think. I only know because of the event was
I
dated.
kept messing up the time, and Chris was like, "No, it's 3."
It's well, I'm gonna see if I can see this on my page. Who
I'm looking
can
at
view
it.
it?
33 viewers.
Oh, well, cool. Let's get kicking then. We got people.
Hi, everybody.
All right, cool. So let's just introduce everybody. We did, I've got a little list of things we'll talk through, so we'll kind of run it, in order. We told jokes, which is great. We got a student from Blackbird Academy, Tammy. She's joining in. Awesome.
Hello.
So let's introduce each other. Amber, why don't you go ahead? You and Dave, go for it.
My name is Amber, aka May Simpson. May is my middle name, so I'm the lead singer of my group, May Simpson Music. And this is Dave.
David, I play bass. Yeah. Kellerman.
Yep. Moving on.
Aaron?
Hey, Aaron Silverstein. I'm the drummer for May Simpson.
Oh, can't hear him.
Can't hear him.
I can hear him. Romy?
Hey, my name's Romy Ricardo Javier Romero. I play percussion or auxiliary percussion for May Simpson.
Awesome. And I'm putting Yogi in. He'll be there in 1 second. There you go.
Hello. Hi, Facebook world and everybody else. I'm Yogi Jorgen. I play guitar and annoy May in the band.
You still have the office. Hey, I can't hear Jorgen or Aaron.
I don't see him.
Aaron's not in the stream. We'll just keep going. It'll sort out. I may have Aaron leave and pop back in. That'll usually fix that. And my name is Chris Mara. May Simpson Band is based in Minneapolis, and I'm based in Nashville. I own a studio called Welcome to 1979. And we actually recorded this. We did the pre-production for this EP in Minneapolis and recorded it in Minneapolis. And I mixed it back here in Welcome to 1979. But we'll get into all that. So, Amber, why don't you tell us a brief history of the band?
Sure.
And yeah, just so people know who we are.
Definitely. So, May Simpson Music formed when I was sitting in my percussionist's house, Mr. Ricardo Romero. And I said, we started working acoustically. And then I said, I really want a big band. I want a band with horns. I want the whole shebang. And so at that point, we decided to search for a few people. We found Jorgen, who's the guitarist. And me and him, we just made music so very, very easily. And of course, I still needed my horns by that point. So I went to Craigslist. Crazy enough, I'm still alive. They didn't kill me. And it turned out to be fantastic. I mean, these guys are whizzes and they just know how to play really well and they fit with us really well. So, and then Dave came along after our third show that we ever had. And since then, it's been history.
That's it. Yeah. Good magic happening. Hi, Kat. I see you're on the stream right now.
Oh, I see that too.
Okay, cool. So I'm doing the producing too. So if you see me looking around, I'm flipping stuff around. I'm like engineering while I'm on TV. It's kind of crazy. So okay. So yeah, and May Simpson, you guys released this EP that we're talking about just on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So this is real fresh, awesome, and I assume it's on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. iTunes, all
Spotify,
that. So,
iTunes, Amazon.
Oh, the mediums.
cool. So we'll be playing some actual songs off the EP and the pre-production versions. But after this, if you're tuning in, just jump over to Spotify and listen to the whole thing. So, and you guys have horns, so it's drums, bass, guitar, trumpet, and
Saxophones.
I'm forgetting sax, and vocals and percussion. So it's a big band.
Oh, really
right?
big.
Like I just lost track. But 7 or 8.
7.
All right.
Yeah.
7. So when did you guys decide that you wanted a producer or needed a producer? How did that discussion come about?
Who do you want to take that?
I mean, I think we were.
So basically, we came to a point where we had already sent out our first EP, Feel It Coming, and the second one, which is this one, Did You Make It Back? We decided that we needed a little extra help. We wanted to make it the biggest project that we've done so far, and that we needed a little bit of help just to kind of bounce some ideas off of somebody and see if we could form the songs in a way that's going to get us more play on the radio. I mean, that's the end goal for us right now, is to get on the radio and stay on the radio.
Get our music out there.
And out there in general and easier to listen to. It's not like we didn't make great songs, but it's always nice to have somebody that hears something totally different into a song and make it something that we never thought it would be. So at this time, with this EP, we knew we needed to make it big and make a statement. So we brought in Chris Mara.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you guys find me, and what were your concerns about bringing a producer in? I mean, there had to have been some fears and concerns.
Well, you found us. Well, I should say your associate did.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago on Facebook, we got a message from your associate, and they had checked out one of our first videos that we had on YouTube ever. And we were like, oh, who's this coming at us and wanting to, record us? And we're like, we're not even anywhere near ready for this. So I remember meeting you back then. And I mean, the big concern is and was the money, right? How do we afford this when we're not gigging at this time as heavily as we are now? And I think the concern was not only money, can we afford it? Is it worth it for where we are at this point? And moving forward, what is it going to do for us to have a producer? Because we didn't know you. How could we trust something we didn't know?
Right. True.
I don't know if anybody wants to add to that.
Anybody else? Yogi? Aaron?
I think one of the big concerns is always money. And also, like, you're bringing somebody into something so personal to all of us. We've all put our heart and soul into this. It's like, are we going to work well together? Are they going to see and have the same vision that we have for this? Are they going to, are you going to come in and try to change it too much? Or, like, what's your approach and what's your workflow look like? Because I think a lot of us, we've played with a lot of different people before. And writing music together is a very intimate and detailed thing because you're putting your heart out there, and you don't want it. It's scary to get it crushed. It's scary to put yourself out there. It's scary to be vulnerable in those positions. And so I think for me, one of the big concerns was, if we go with a producer, are they going to be true to our vision of what we see and the message that we're trying to deliver with these songs? So.
Okay. Well, that's a good point too, because there are a lot of different types of producers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that as we started discussing it. And I asked, what kind of producer? What do you think a producer means, right? And I should tell our audience, anytime you have a question, you can just jump in. I'm watching them, and we'll address your question live. But the different types of producers, as I understand it, right? There are producers that co-write the songs with the band or help find songs to have the band learn. There are producers that build tracks and play all the instruments and have the band play their part here and there, and mainly the singer sing. That's like a pop thing. There are producers hired by labels to go find bands and produce them like the label wants, with very little input from the band, which is not your case, right? And then there's people like me that I kind of view myself as a co-producer with the band, and we do everything together. I mean, everything together. So your sound is retained, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So a lot of our pre-production conversations were FaceTime meetings and this and that, and just talking about what your goals were and how I could help achieve those goals through music, and then kind of put that to a budget that we all agreed on before we started, right? Because you guys all independently making money, and I totally get that,
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I mean, that was a big concern, and we obviously hashed that out, and especially, we were on year 2 and we were rolling, and money was easier to come by because we were gigging a lot more, and getting bigger shows. So it was like no longer as big of a concern as it was before.
Right. Okay. And we should discuss. I'm going to take Aaron out for a second, just put Romy in for some screen time. We should discuss the difference between an engineer and a producer. A lot of people will book my studio and just kind of start asking the engineer that's assigned to them production questions, which are fair enough. But a producer, by definition, gets involved ahead of time and has really knows the band and their goals, and can answer questions based on those. Because anyone can have an opinion about a change to make, but is that opinion relevant to what the band wants to do, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, so that's important. And then we kind of walk through your goals too, and I think you guys decided on an EP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And why did you guys decide on doing an EP?
Hey, Yogi, you want to take that?
I think with the EP, we as May Simpson have no lack of music. I mean, we can kind of get together and just make it up. So I think there was definitely some budgetary restrictions with the EP. But along with that, I think the current trend in the market is less focused on, doing full-length albums and more of, a couple singles here, a couple singles there. And I feel like the EP really, even listening to the EP, you can see the whole range of what we do, and kind of there's something on there for every type of application, whether it be big and party or more chill and relaxed or folk indie kind of thing. So I think the number of songs we chose really played into being able to showcase what we all do and what we're able to do as a band in different situations, and therefore venues and gig types.
So the EP goal was to get some gigs and to showcase in an EP form a lot of the different sides of the band, right?
Yeah.
Because we decided. Oh, go ahead, Amber.
Well, I just mean, I think at the end of the day, we just want our music to be heard, and that's no matter where it is. Of course, we're always going to want gigs or better paying things, but we just want to be heard, and we want to put our best foot forward in doing that.
Okay. Cool. So then we decided well ahead of time that we wanted to do what, 3 full band songs or 4?
4
I
full
know
band,
we
2
loved it.
acoustic.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And we decided that before you even sent me songs, right?
Yep.
Cool. Romy, I'm going to switch you out and put Aaron in for a little bit of screen time here. So, okay, and then I just had you guys send me a bunch of songs. How many did you send me? You sent me 10, I think?
10, yeah.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. So, and I just dug through those, and it was important that we talk about song selection too, because that's what I did. I kind of helped select the best songs for this project once we had the project defined. And I remember we talked a lot about, you had 2 songs that were in 6/8, and I was like, well, they're both really good songs. We need to pick one. We can't have 3 full band songs and 2 of them 6/8. You know, then your band is going to get pigeonholed into that kind of music.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So sometimes song selection isn't always about the song itself. It's about the project, and that song still exists and could be on the next project, and it will be new for the audience then, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of back and forth on that, and you know, some heat, not heated, but you know, we didn't always agree
I mean,
on
you're dealing
things.
with me, Chris. You're always going to get some heat.
No shit. Yeah. And I like that. You know? I mean, you know, going into it, like I remember we kind of just like boom, just right off the bat, and I said,
totally.
look, we should back up a step. When I really like something, I want to improve it. It may seem like I'm picking it apart, but it's because I'm excited about it, you know. And then we're like, oh, okay, cool. And everyone, thank God, is passionate about their music. If you didn't give a shit about it, then what are we doing it for, right? So
Yeah.
it's good to know that there are going to be those emotions running high, and everyone kept it in check. I mean,
Well, yeah.
you took a speed
Remember that?
jam.
You remember that one time?
Yeah, I remember it one time.
You gonna tell him that? You gonna tell him
Oh, it was I thought I got fired there for a second.
Well, can you use that term on this live?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What happened to you? You said when you said that, my butt puckered.
Yeah, my ass fucking up a little bit. I was like,
You made your point, Chris.
yeah, I was explaining it, and I did it a couple times, and she said, "Yeah, you made your point," and I was like, "Whoa!" But she meant that the song had made its point, but evidently I kind of reared back a little bit, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I felt like an ass.
Well, let's kind of move forward, and we've been talking about music for a while, and that's great. But let's listen to some music. So you guys sent me the songs, and I made a chart like this. Aaron, I'm gonna take you out so I can show some charts here. And then I made a chart of how the song existed as you sent it to me, like this. And then I made changes to it, and I went up to your practice space in Minneapolis, and we just played the song down as you sent it to me. Looked at the chart, literally got on the same page, and then I flipped the chart over to the changes I wanted to make, and we played it like that, and we discussed it. I mean, even this chart, you can see, has some scratch marks in it from when we started co-producing, right?
Yeah, which was, by the way, was the absolute coolest tool that you brought to us, is having that chart. It taught us all so much.
All of our new songs have been that now. Every one of our new songs has been charted out, and we've like gone through it. We're like, Chris is a genius. And so, yeah, we've been applying all that stuff.
Yeah. And for me, it's so much easier to see a song and then talk about it than to say, okay, you know what, that part after the chorus, that's not quite the verse. It's like, no, that's a turnaround. It's 2 bars, round 4, you know, and then we're not burning calories on that. We're just working on the song. So let's play. Okay, so a myth about producers is that they just come in and just change your whole thing, and then you have a project that isn't yours, right?
Yeah.
And the 2 songs I chose to showcase are one song called "Smile." We changed a lot of little things. So let's listen to that before and after, And then another song we changed a lot. So I wanted to show the bookends, right?
Sure.
So let's listen to Smile, the pre-production version you guys did, that you recorded in your practice space. Let me find it. I've got things I got to toggle through here. So why don't you guys mute your microphones?
You're gonna have to do that for me there, Chris.
I'll do it for you.
Want to do it?
I got it. And this is the pre-production version of Smile. So just check this out, and then we'll play what we did together.
Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I smile for you too, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I smile for you too. Ooh, you got me feeling like I'm crazy, baby. The way you work that on the floor, baby, I'ma need some more. Ooh, you got me feeling like I'm on cloud nine. Know that you're fine, baby, wanna take your time. Baby, can we chill a while? She said, smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too. The only time I wanna look at you is when you're smiling, how your eyes glow. Just call it timeless pause. Hold it, baby, let's rewind this, cause I just want one more glimpse of your fineness. Truly, you are timeless. I got the rhymeness. Taking it from the top, letting the music drop. Do you feel it? Do you feel it deep inside of your soul? Taking it from the top, letting the music drop. Hey, smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too.
Okay, so that's cool, right? And I remember, I'm going to unmute you here in a second. There you go, Amber. So I remember talking with you guys a lot. I'm going to bring Aaron in. And you guys are a kick-ass live band, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the elements of this song were based on your live show, and which I see. And is this the one where you kind of all kind of crouch down at the end and kind of like
Yeah,
Mardi Gras?
it is. Yeah.
Which is kick ass
Yeah.
live, right? And we had a lot of discussions. I wanted to explain why I was making changes, right? And that that still can happen live like that, right? But for a production where a listener on the radio or a DJ or whatever only has one sense that to hear your song, it needs to be a little more streamlined, right? Can't have two solos, or it can, but it can't. It shouldn't. It should be kind of more like getting you through it, right? And this chorus is so fast. So I talked to you guys a lot about why I was making changes, and that kind of helps the changes be accepted or at least understood, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, the biggest point for me is to be able to catch my vocals in a live atmosphere that brings the energy. And that was what I was worried about the most, is that, yes, we rock these songs live. Are we worried about how it's going to come across when it's recorded or produced? Yes, absolutely. But the energy has to be there. That was the most important part for me, Yeah,
and Zach Reacher here wants to know how he can find the music. You guys are on Spotify. This was just released on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So look up May Simpson Band on M-A-E. Spotify.
Or if you like
music,
autographs and vinyl, you can go to our website, maysimpsonmusic.com, and go purchase it. We'll sign it, we'll autograph it, we'll send it out.
Okay, sweet.
Nice.
So in my goals to listen to, a female-fronted band with horns, I felt if the sound was too clean, recording-wise and too precise, then you could get pigeonholed too into some sort of, I don't know, fluff band or little too R&B, which you're not. I mean, all those raps you do and that attitude was on the forefront of my mind as yours, and I took it into the drum sounds, right? Which we can talk a little bit about the studio choice. Since you guys play so well live in your 7-piece, I wanted to find a studio we could track all together, percussion included, So we tracked everyone live, but isolated so we could fix things and add things. And we were running Aaron's drums through guitar amps and stuff, and the horns just blaring, and there was guitar amps and horns. It was crazy, but we had to get that energy, of course. And we went and we replaced Yogi's, Yogi's guitars and stuff, but the core was there, right?
Yeah.
So let's play the production one now. I'll take Yogi out of this screen and have Aaron kind of chime in if I can. Hold on. Sorry, Yogi out. Bye. Hang on a second. And here's what we did in the Terrarium studio. Smile. Here we go. And mute everybody. Mute yourselves. Sorry, I got way too much stuff going on here.
Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too, yeah. Ooh, you got me feeling like I'm crazy, baby. The way you work that, twerk that on the floor, baby, I'ma need some more. Ooh, you got me feeling like I'm on cloud 9. Know that you're fine, baby, wanna take your time. Tell me, can we chill a while? She said, smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too. The only time I wanna look at you is when you're smiling. How your eyes glow, just call it timeless. Hold on, baby, let's rewind this, cause I just want one more glimpse of your fineness. Tell me you are timeless, I got the rhymeless. Taking it from the top, letting the music drop. Do you feel it? Do you feel it deep inside your soul? Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. Smile for me, yeah. And I'll smile for you too, yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see, hold on a second. There you go. I'm going to put Romy back in the stream. So a big part for me, I really felt the interaction between Romy and Aaron on drums. You know, they really felt, so they
That's
were
my
tracking
boy.
together. Yeah. I had so much fun because it's rare I get to record a percussionist and a drummer at the same time, right? But the things that we talked about focusing on were the attitude of Amber's vocal and the overall sound of the track. And after hearing that again, I think we really hit it out of the park. Where the tempo is right. We play with the tempo a lot, right? It had to be fast to keep people moving.
Mm-hmm.
Fast enough to have that edge to the vocal, but slow enough to get all the words out.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
And if you look, yeah, and that took some fine tuning, you know, and then when to break it down, when to build it up, you know, and we kept the chorus up front, but we halved it. We made a quick turnaround with a horn line to grab your attention, and then back into it, you know.
Yeah, it was a rush, that's for sure. But it was a quick hit and go. So
yeah, making those significant launches, so to speak.
Yeah, and even we were talking about this in October about when it was going to come out, and I'm like, we got to come up with a summer song. You guys are in Minnesota, you know. Summer is like,
right?
You know, and I was looking for that because the time of year is the big deal, you know, like when to release songs and when to get traction and all that kind of stuff. So we were really thinking about it, and this is definitely one of those songs, you know.
Oh, for sure, makes you feel good. And
definitely, definitely. In addition, also having Aaron's way of performing and articulating his drumming patterns only assisted me into the introduction, or more or less the taking my folkloric auxiliary percussion and adding it right to it. You know, it's a combination. When I see it live at a big show, my mind is blown up, you know. So ever since I saw that for the first time, I'm like, how do we do this with May Simpson? It's so cool to have your direction with this. So.
Yeah, it was fun. Let me put up a. Oh, were you gonna say something, Aaron?
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. You know, you had touched upon the tempo, and like that was a big part of this. You know, I think we landed on 108, and we used to go faster, slower. It was more dependent on the mood, and I think we hit the tempo perfect on this one.
Yeah, and that's a big thing.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's a big thing I've learned too. You know, pre-production is very important to nail down keys of the songs and tempos, because once you're in the studio and you've got stuff to do, you don't want to start moving tempos around, because tempos are so you can lose perspective.
Right.
You know, and spend an hour moving it up and down. Everyone's excited. And it even happened to us. It's like, oh, I think it's too slow. It's like, no, we're just excited today. We're in the studio. Just play the chart. You know.
Well, one of the things you said pre-production, you guys have to play this stuff again. If it feels too fast, just remember you know, it's just another day that you're trying to practice this stuff, and it's not necessarily too fast or too slow. It's just you're not used to it yet. So make sure you keep practicing it and stick to it. And that was super helpful, because there was that Tuesday came around for us to practice. Something didn't feel right. We're like, nope, we need to stick to it. It'll sound right on the day we go to record it.
Absolutely. And that bar form of every song as well. It's like, finally, there's a visual representation for me and my point of view of where we're going. It was like it clicked, calibration went through. So we played.
And then, you know, we did pre-production in November. You guys did shows in November and December, and we recorded in January. So you got to crowd test the stuff. I went to see one of the shows during pre-pro, and a song that I was lukewarm on, Home, totally once I saw, you know, the crowd interacting with it. And I don't mind being proved wrong at all. I was like, okay, now I get it.
Well, that was a big thing too in that situation, where we were so particular about how that song would go, because we knew how we interacted with the crowd with it. It's such an emotional song, and that's how people love it. And obviously, we changed it in all the best ways, but we still kept that core foundation of what that song does to people, you know, and for people.
Yeah, and that's a damn good song. I just wasn't sure of the tempo, and then I saw the crowd. I'm like, this band has it right. And we went in the pre-pro the next day, and I'm like, you guys are on the right track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got a question from Ed here. It says, it sounds awesome. Quick question about pre-production version. Was that also recorded? Sent? You guys answer that. Yeah. So they recorded pre-production stuff in their own space, sent it to me well ahead of time. And then we recorded in the aquarium. Let me take Romy out, and I'll show a picture of us in the studio. The aquarium is in Minneapolis, which made sense for 7 members, right? Not to travel to Nashville. It's all about, you know, budgets are important, so I flew up there for both.
What a guy.
Yeah. You know, it's my hometown, so I get some family, so it was fun. Let me put Romy back in here. Yeah, and here's another picture of the control room. I'm pointing at somebody about something.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, just let me finish my sentence. That was cute. And then somebody's asking about the chart. Here's the chart again. You can see we messed around with the intro a lot on this one because it just really had to grab us. We had a 1 bar. We took that out. You can see it just kind of like bam, right in. We played around with that turnaround a good bit in the breakdown section. Yeah, 108 is the tempo. We cut out, and those are just representing bars. We didn't add in the chord changes. We just wanted a simple chart to look at for song structure. So let me take that out. I want to make sure I'm getting all of my notes here. So yeah, and then a lot of times people think that recording live means that where'd it go? That you can't fix things or add things or whatever. And we did a lot of. Let me add this. I did a screenshot of my Pro Tools session this morning. I know, I'm such a nerd, right? So once this uploads, I'll show you the screenshot. Yeah. No, it's not going to. Oh, here it is. We add a lot of stuff. We doubled the horns. We doubled some guitars. A big part of that song was the work that, twerk that, when we had the horns jump in with the guitars and really accent that. So we had the instrument helping the vocal out to draw attention to it. And then a big drum fill over the thing. It was really cool. So this is what the section was looking like. All those little bits and pieces are little kicks here and there. And so, yeah. So that's, you know, it's produced, but it doesn't sound overproduced. And that was really the balance I personally try to find, where you can listen to it and go, oh yeah, it's a band playing in a room. So there's a lot more going on to it with it, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that about you, Chris, is that none of it feels overproduced, which I was leery about. I want the raw emotion of my vocals to come through, and I needed it to be that way fully, which I think you really nailed.
Yeah. Well, Kim says that's her favorite part of the song, that work that, twerk that thing, which is great.
Yeah.
And I don't know who said it, but I was kind of dancing, and you're like, you know, Chris, if I saw you dance before we hired you, you wouldn't have got the gig. But I'm glad you like it. And John, I don't know, did we answer your question? John Smith had a question about the charting. I think we talked about it after he asked that. But it's a real helpful way to get on the same page. So let's play a song that we really did change a lot. So the goal for the EP was to have 3 full band songs and 2 acoustic songs. For budgetary reasons, they could send it out and get some coffee shop gigs when they're on tour, show both sides of this band, right? So you guys sent me full band songs in one folder and acoustic songs in another folder. And I was listening, and this song just grabbed me, man. And I just felt it just could be the message could be sent in a different way. And that's called Keeping on My Feet. And here's the pre-production version of it. We're going to listen to this real quick. So you guys mute yourselves.
The acoustic version, I like this version too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I had choices to make, you know. So let's listen to this.
You used to hold me, and now I'm walking on my own. Daddy told me it's time to turn your own stone. But when I see the world, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. But when I see myself, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. I spent a little time on a humble side of the vision I made myself. We could get lost in the circumstances of our world and swallowed up by the shell. Ooh, and in the night she whispers to me, fly sky, don't touch your feet to the ground until you're ready to come down. Oh, honey, the lights get a little bit burned over time. You might want to change your mind, but remember the scales of your heart fall. But when I see myself, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. But when I see the world, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. She puts on her shoes, followed by her pants, and her shirt, her gloves, and her jacket, throws on a hat, heads to the door and turns it. On the other side of that door is a step that you take and that we take. We take it together, pick up ourselves. That mirror is forever changing, and so are we. But when I see myself, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. But when I see the world, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my head. But when I see myself, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. But when I see the world, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet.
Go way down. No way. Go down.
Man, I missed that version.
It's so fun to watch you guys listen to that, you know.
I'm still feeling it, man.
I haven't listened
I
to
mean,
that
I can
since,
definitely tell the difference,
since
like
we
in
sent
what
it
we
to you,
did
so
and how it
that's-
makes sense now. But
It's
then
been
at that
forever.
time, you
I'm
know,
over here like,
we're not
wow.
Yeah. So you know, here I am, the new guy, and I'm like, hey, I got an idea for this one, you know, and I started doing this shit. And let me play the production one. And again, this was a decision for the EP, you know. Let
Yeah.
me find it. So I got stuff. Yeah. So mute your stuff, and we'll play what we did. And listen, you guys listening in. Check out the vocal attitude. Check out the vibe. Check out the message, and make sure that all gets across. Because this song it's a good one. All right, let's listen. You know. Yeah. Find it. So
She puts on her pants, followed by her shoes, and her shirt, her gloves, and her jacket. Throws on a hat, heads to the door and turns it. On the other side is a step. But when I see myself, I know I gotta keep on keeping on. But when I see the world, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. But when I see the world, I know I gotta keep on keeping on my feet. Keeping on my, keeping on my, keeping on my.
Dancing over here, toe tapping and everything.
Yeah,
I love it.
And Romy, that perk you did in that verse after the chorus, it just made the whole thing just sink down like I wanted it to. It's still, it's a different version of the song, but
Yeah.
more, I was like, this thing has to be like a strutting one. You know what I mean? It's got to
Yeah.
be driving.
Speaking of, the landscape for the song was very unique. I think out of the ones that we sent you, this one was my biggest struggle, and it wasn't until your additions to the percussion that was
It
awesome.
sure does.
As far as where does the bongos fit, where does the shekere, or where does the cowbell or not? I'm sorry, tambourine and all this other different landscape-like acoustic percussion instruments open a whole new realm for me. And the ability to introduce that as I'm playing everything live and being able to mold my brain around that has been really tasty. And so, yeah. To feel that now after a few months removed from the process speaks for the training and the process of the pre-recording and how important that is. And even so, remaining fluid on the day of recording, like you mentioned in your touching attitude. And so sometimes what you've been practicing doesn't end up working. And so how do you adjust from that? How do you communicate? That's pretty cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, and to you guys' credit, I was like, trust me. And we worked on it for about a half a day in the pre-pro in your practice space. I'm like, I want this played right and kick ass before we decide. Because it's a big change, and Amber wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. And then all of a sudden, this might work, Chris. Come on. Good.
I was definitely.
Awesome,
yeah.
But I was like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we're going to know if it worked or didn't work.
Right.
And then we know. Right.
Exactly.
And I think once we agreed that we're just on this journey, let's just do it. Caleb is a producer in his own right, so I take his compliment highly. And he makes a great point. He said the stripped down version will be killer when they go on Tiny Desk and stuff like that. So we didn't obsolete the acoustic version. I think we made it more special.
I
Hey.
was going to say that I think the power of the acoustic version after the
Yeah,
big band live
I
version
think
is
that it was
big.
definitely a road to get to because we were definitely disagreeing on it because I was just finding myself rather angry when I was singing it when we did your version.
Yeah.
But I think in the long run, obviously it was the right decision. I just had to get used to it. It's kind of like when that song is emotional for me. And it was an attachment thing of, okay, now this doesn't feel like it's completely mine anymore, almost, which is, when I think about it now, it's just silly. So I was glad we were able to work through that, and I was able to see the other side of things, and I think it turned out exactly how it should have.
Well, we talked about that too. It's like, and I wasn't stroking you. I was like, look, this is even more yours, so we can change it, and it still has the same message.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's a good song. You can't do that to every song, And I just thought it would reach more people as an upbeat, like, I'm kicking some ass and taking some names, strutting. And Aaron, he nailed it, man. The drum beat.
It's my favorite song on the record, dude. Yeah, it's my favorite song. You came in and you're like
100%.
You're like playing like the Tom Petty song. Uh,
I put my hand on his shoulder, I'm like, yeah. I said, Aaron, I don't envy you for the next 2 hours, man. I'm going to throw this in. I need a drum part. I want it to be like kick ass, and it just has to be like just. I think I said relentless was what I wanted. You know.
Yeah, it's
So,
good ADD. So I appreciated that.
yeah, and not every band can go through those changes and come out the other side. So that's a big compliment to you guys. You know, to just be throwing, just musically, we just that game where you take a baseball bat and you put your nose on it and spin around.
Yeah.
That's what we do musically, and then go run. And so I was real proud that it came together, and it was emotional. I mean, we only do pre-production like 6 hours a day, and I was beat at the end of every day. You know. So, which I should ask the audience, which version do you guys like the best? Let those kind of roll in, just for fun. And I should mention, when you go to their Spotify page, we did a radio edit, or you guys suggested the radio edit of that spoken word.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was going to like the spoken word, and I actually kind of fought for it to not do the radio edit, but we did the radio edit, and I think that was the right move, you guys, because it flows a little bit better on radio. But my point was, I don't hear many songs like that on the radio with a spoken word thing. But without it, it keeps the momentum of the song really going and really kind of like pounding.
And that was the whole deal, because I was back and forth on it too, because I thought it was unique to the song, and then talking more with Jorgen and I think Aaron, and they were like, it just needs to keep moving if it's going to be playing on the radio, and I do think it was the right choice.
Yep. And that, again, this was a co-production. We kicked around ideas, and I don't know how we came up with that, that exact idea or how it came out of there. We were just working on ideas together, and you'd throw one out and I'd throw one out, and someone else would go, oh my goodness, and boom, and there we are, the final product, however we got there,
Yeah.
So, and then I wasn't listening that closely, but we did a good bit of song structure changes to it as well. Moved some parts around, but nothing detrimental. Now I can't remember what we did, but
the part that
the song totally changed.
Yeah.
Well, the theme of coming in on the end of beat 2, having those pauses at the beginning of every phrase is kind of that was a big thing.
Yeah.
That we added.
You know how long it took me to get that wording right? I was stressing, man. I was like,
well, yeah. And that's the power of silence, man. That when we hit that rest, or you guys hit that rest, everyone's attention just like boom. It's pretty cool. So I like it. And again, shitty bands can't pull this stuff off. So.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Let's man. So you guys have a release show that's been kind of rescheduled, right? Yeah, postponed. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, basically we're just waiting on everything. We hope everybody's staying safe, obviously. We will be having a show for sure. We just don't know when it will be. It will most likely still be at the Cedar Cultural Center. We will see, how things play out. We're just trying to follow the laws, and but you can stream. And if you want to actually it's not pre-order anymore, but order the CD or merch or package for our EP, you can go to www.maysimpsonmusic.com and go ahead and order that stuff.
Cool. Well, I'm going to put all of you guys up there. Who do I need? Yogi. And I'm just going to say, if there's any advice you can give bands that are in your position, going through this process, what you would do differently next time, and just discuss that for a minute, and then we'll just kind of give ourselves some links and peace out.
Sweet.
Sure. Well, personally, I don't know if I'm going first here, Yogi. Am I? I don't know.
Yeah, it's talking.
Okay. It's getting confusing. I think bands that are in our position, if you are in our position, when you're really making some waves in the community, and the most important thing is your product. It is your music, and you have to invest in it. And the money does come back. And sometimes it's not even about money. It's just about having the product that shows every single one of the reasons of why you are a good band, showcasing those moments and showcasing those songs in a brighter light. So if getting a producer means spending money, then spend money on your product, spend money on you, because it's only going to, make you better. And at the end of the day, we all want our music to be heard, and what better way to do that than putting your best foot forward?
Hey.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me with working with the producer was that it's nice having an outside person come in and give you objective feedback about the songs, because we love these songs so much, and we all have like so emotionally invested and we're emotionally charged about these songs, about like we think this is the way it should be. I know in my heart it is, and it's nice just having an equal party come in that's like, hey, I don't really care about the history of what you have with it. I'm just like saying from the production and the producer standpoint, this is what I'm hearing, and does that fit the message that we as a group are trying to get across with these songs? And as our heart and stuff, is that being felt through them? Is that what the audience is picking up on? Which is, I think, a hard part of music. And so to have somebody come in that can give you and lay it out in a way that's like, this is what I'm hearing from it. Is that the message that you're trying to get across? And so, yeah, that was my favorite part about working with the producer, was having somebody in there be like, this is what I'm hearing. This is the message that's getting across. Is it different than what you're trying to do? So,
Yeah, I'd say that for me, what I can share in this whole situation is mostly take the feedback and run with it. Um, your music only gets better, and we only play to play music and make it good and refine it and grow alongside with that process. But the feedback is very important. Basing you taking that and then you apply it and how you train, and knowing how the product, just like May touched, which is the most important thing, working towards making sure that the product is delivered in a professional manner and sounds good and it looks good. That takes time. There are times that you don't even want to go to practice. Those times you take a deep breath and you pay it forward, because there's other members in the band that are counting on your effort to continue on. And so it's just so cool to see it all come together. Right now it's all done. And so just taking those notes and share that, that's what I tell people mostly, is continue to work on your craft and apply yourself.
I'll basically just echo what everyone else said, but I will say this: if you have an opportunity to work with Chris, do so.
yeah.
I like everything everyone is saying here is true. A producer brings a lot of value, but from my first interaction with Chris, he instilled confidence in us and in me, knowing that we were giving him, putting a lot of money into this. And I didn't second guess it after that first meeting. And I think the pre-production really solidified that.
Absolutely.
I think we walked away, from the studio feeling like we truly trust someone as a member of the band in this situation. And I think the product really speaks that. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, as Aaron said, I don't know if Chris is hopping back on here, but yeah, as Aaron said, if you guys have the opportunity to work with Chris, he blew all of our expectations away. I think we were all skeptical for, the first little bit of, who is this guy trying to contact us to work with us? We have no idea who he is. And it was, I think, as Aaron said, one of the best experiences I think we've had with the group, and definitely the best experience we've had an outside member come in and like work with us. So,
yeah, and just to kind of touch on that a little bit more is, we can call this intuition or whatever, women's intuition. I don't care what you call it, but I knew the first time that I had spoken with Chris that I was going to work with Chris, and it just makes me feel. I just want to share this part with you, okay, Chris? I don't know if you remember this or not, but we were talking about recording our next EP, and you had called me, and you were like, we were talking about it, and you were like, wait, what do you mean? I thought I'm doing it. I'm supposed to be doing your next CP. I was like, oh, I. And that's how the whole ball started rolling. And I just appreciate that so much because
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I knew I wanted to work with you, and I'm just so glad that it happened, and I'm so glad that the guys saw what I saw in the beginning, and you had to earn our trust, and and that's a statement piece at it on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and you guys, in a little timing too. We met 2 years ago, and we agreed mutually that we wanted to work together, but this wasn't the time,
Yeah.
and that took a lot of confidence in all of us. It's like, well, look, a couple more things need to fall in place on your end, my end, whatever, and let's just put a pause on it, and when the time is right, we're going to do it, and it happened. So I guess I would encourage artists to start doing the research now, because the runway's long, and I told you guys, I said, let's have a meeting, and I ask a lot of questions. And if I'm not the producer for you, I will have enough information to refer some of you to people that do the things that I don't do, or vice versa. So I would encourage the band that's thinking about doing something this year to get the wheels turning, because it may take 6 months to find the right person, a year maybe, and then another year to figure out when the right time is, So it wasn't. We didn't meet on a Friday and we're in the studio on Monday by any means.
No.
It was,
and I appreciated that because it was such a long process.
Yeah. Yeah. But we all agreed on the time frame, and to kind of wrap up the technical side. So we left the Terrarium studio with everything recorded we wanted, and everything in every place, every horn part muted, every vocal muted, everything. And then I came back to Nashville and I mixed it with all the parts where you wanted them, all the arrangements done. And my job was to make it sound awesome. I sent you the mixes. You said, sounds great. Turn this up, turn this down. You know what? Take that part out or whatever. Did that. We did that 1 or 2 rounds, I think, and we were done. So it was.
I just got to give some more credit to you, Chris, is that I never felt, even though you were pushing me to do something different or better, I never felt that pressure as far as it feeling like pressure. It was more like we got to this decisions together regardless, which is really nice and comforting. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And there was times where you were pushing me and I was pushing you, and it's just part of the process.
And we got in a physical fist fight. Yeah, I remember that.
That was fun. Well, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
She fights dirty. That's all I'm saying.
You don't want to make me mad, okay?
Yeah. So, and I think we should wrap up soon, but these are interesting times, and we wouldn't be doing, we were kind of talking before we went live, we wouldn't have taken the time to do this Facebook Live event had it not been for the quarantine. So,
yeah,
I'm a silver lining guy, and this is kind of cool. There's no way we would have just stopped our day-to-day stuff to do this. So I'm really glad it happened. And if you're a band sitting around, I've been doing a lot of Zoom stuff with the projects I've got going on. Hit me up and let's just work on a song together via Zoom, just to see, just to put what you've heard today into your own experience, right? And we'll just do it. All my tracking sessions are canceled for the next 2 months. All your groups are canceled. So it's a good.
Nothing else to do, folks.
So let's just see if we can't move the ball forward. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to try new things, and you can learn more about me at welcome to1979.com or chrismara.com. And again, you guys, where's your music?
Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. That's Mae Simpson, MAE Simpson music. So check out the new EP on Spotify, iTunes, and all that. Also, but you can purchase it as well, and we will be sending them out when we can mail them out at MaeSimpsonMusic.com.
Cool. Well, I don't see any other questions. Tammy says this is super helpful and awesome to hear. I think she's talking about the process does have its bumps, so just expect that, and that's part of it. Don't get frustrated. And we're all human, and we're all really passionate about music. Thank God. Yeah. Otherwise, we're not talking about TPS reports and stuff. So, cool. Guys, I had a blast. I'm gonna. I can't get everyone on the screen at the same time, but I had an absolute blast. I miss you guys.
That was so
and I
fun.
can't wait to come up for the EP release party. It's gonna crush. So,
Yes,
man.
you're crowd surfing. Be ready for that.
and thanks to everyone for joining in. Any follow up questions, just shoot us via Facebook or PM. And but yeah, I'd love to meet some more bands. So hit me up.
August just logged in and watching the very end of it.
Hi, August. Hey, you did great too, man. Appreciate
He
you.
was the assistant.
Yeah, thanks, August.
He's
Oh yeah, hey August. Yeah, I
Hey.
had a blast at Terrarium. You know, I don't record. I mean, there's very few places around the country I like recording. That's definitely one of them. So
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah.
Great space.
Yeah.
All right, are we done?
Yeah.
Is that it?
we're done. Let me kick off live. Bye guys. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Sweet.
Is that it? Are we still